Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome back to another speed build for the Disney save. Today we're going to be continuing on with my Aladdin themed builds all in this one neighborhood in Oasis Springs. I am almost done with this neighborhood. There are, I think, this one and there's going to be one more. That's not the end of the Aladdin builds. We have some larger ones to come that we're not going to fit in this neighborhood. And I think overall, if you just kind of look at Oasis Springs, I think Aladdin takes up the most space. So I have quite a few more Aladdin things to come down the line. But something that I really wanted to implement was something else related to Genie. Genie is such an important character, not only to Aladdin, but to Disney media in general. He's one of those like big icon characters, and I really wanted a lot or two that was specifically dedicated or themed based on him. And it came to me that one of the ideas that I haven't really used in a long time is a pool. And especially for like a desert movie and Oasis Springs, having a new pool in the save is super ideal and obviously a little funny, right? But it lines up with the movie perfectly because there is a scene in the film where Genie takes Aladdin to this kind of hidden oasis mini pool in the middle of the desert, and that's where Aladdin makes his first official wish and they kind of get to know one another, and Genie explains the rules of making wishes. It is just this like random oasis pond in the middle of the desert, and I thought it would be the perfect thing to do for a mini outdoor pool in my little Aladdin neighborhood. So I am currently calling this lot 3 Wishes Pool. However, someone in a previous build left me a really cool comment about a potential idea that is Genie themed, and they had also called it 3 Wishes, and I am really liking that idea, so I'm kind of leaning into possibly implementing it. I'm not quite sure. I do have one lot in Oasis Springs that is not officially planned at this time. I have some really strong contenders and good ideas. I kind of know what I want to do with it, but I haven't officially decided that that would be the case. So I always like to hear from you guys. I love comments. I love little ideas that you guys can throw in. Even if you're not a part of the Discords or Patreon, I always consider everyone's ideas. So a lot of times if people do leave comments with things that they would like to see, I will try to implement them if they make a lot of sense. And that's one of them that I've been kind of keeping an eye on. So right now this pool is called 3 Wishes, but if I do decide to go with that other idea, it was a restaurant and it was really a good one. So I might end up doing that, and that would be called 3 Wishes instead, which means this one would probably need a new name. Now today's video is kind of quick because it is a completely outdoor pool, very simple. I want to just let you know that this was actually filmed a few weeks ago before we got the Love Struck patch and before we saw a lot of the stuff that was going to be coming with The Sims 4 Love Struck. So one of those things was curved pools have now newly been added to the game, and I am so excited to go and update some of my past Disney save builds that could really use a curved pool, and this one definitely comes to mind since this is supposed to be a somewhat natural looking curvy windy pool. I really would love to come back here and see if I can edit it as long as it's super functional. I'm always really hesitant with the curved walls in The Sims 4. So far people are reporting that they are working well, which is great news. So I will come back and see what I can do about changing this lot up a little bit just to make it a little bit more curvy and natural. I think that makes a lot of sense for this build. I actually haven't put any videos out in a couple of weeks because unfortunately I got very sick with COVID yet again. So I do apologize for the gap. The next few videos that are going to be coming out will all be a little bit older. They were filmed before The Sims 4 Love Struck came out and before the patch, but I haven't actually updated my game yet for the new patch for Love Struck. I'm scared. I was working on a really big build at the time, and every time The Sims has been updating recently for new packs, my game just completely breaks for sometimes days, weeks, or forever in certain circumstances for certain bugs and things, and I really didn't want it to mess up what I was working on. So as of right now, I actually haven't even patched my game. I'm going to have to very soon here, and I will be picking up The Sims 4 Love Struck because it just comes with so many cute things that you know I was going to need for the save file. There's a canopy in there, there is wall decor and new wall pieces and paintings and things. The picnicky blanket rugs are going to come in handy. Some of them look like bears. I'm going to go update some of my older Brave builds and put in the bare carpets, stuff like that. Nothing crazy. I'm not like over the moon excited about the world, the pack. I know a lot of people really, really are. I hope you guys enjoy it, but I will be picking it up kind of soon and starting to implement some of that stuff. It'll just be after the Aladdin builds is when you guys start to see some of that stuff come into my save file. That being said, I always do update the save with new packs, so I'll be going back through all of my households. They all need updating for the new turn-ons and turn-off system and lots of other stuff. So I'm going to be having a look at everything and of course updating. Now for today's build, there were just a couple of key features that I really wanted to include. Of course, the shape was important. There is sort of this like hidden away, surrounded by trees, tucked away nature of the pond pool area. So I wanted to make sure that it was almost completely surrounded by plants, a little bit hidden, and then there are ways to get in and out of the pool area. I did pick up the new patio kit, the brand new one that comes with the little waterfall rocks and the pergola specifically for this build because I really wanted the cascading water like into it. I think it really adds something. So I did finally add that into my list of kits that I own for the save. And then there are a couple of like little tucked away things that I wanted to do that kind of acknowledge the movie a little bit more, because when they are at this part of the film, Genie always has these little skits that he kind of jumps into and he'll change his outfit for the character and change the surrounding area around him to mimic whatever the joke is. So he has a little scene here where he turns into a hammock. So I decided I would make a hammock out of some debug items and some pillows and things and kind of color coordinate the pillows to be the same color palette as Genie and replicate that little area. Now the hammock isn't functional, unfortunately, because it's a debug item. So I did just put some general seating in front of it so you can still use it as like a seating area, but we don't currently have hammocks that work in the game. So that's kind of the one thing that you have to, it's give and take with this game always. If we get a hammock in a future pack, I will come back and update, but for now that's the best that we can do. The other little shout out is Genie dresses up kind of like a stereotypical French person and creates this little scene that they're dining at and has like candles on the table and little glasses and kind of makes it look like Paris. So there is a little dining table here to reference that scene with some champagne and some candles on the table and some little lighting. And then the other corners are kind of tucked in with things that are just a little bit more functional to the pool and things that you would want for a community pool. Some general seating, maybe a hot tub to kind of spice things up. I know it's hot in the desert, but I still think it would be super nice and relaxing. I also tucked in the toddler pool that you get from Seasons because there's one that comes with like palm trees on it and it fit really perfectly onto a 4 square tile that was up against the pool. So it'll still be functional, but it's like kind of a part of the pool and it makes it more functional for toddler sims as well. I'm always trying to think of ways to make like a lot as useful as possible for as many sims as possible. Even though for the Aladdin characters, we probably aren't going to have any toddlers be a part of any of the households. There are other households in the game that have toddlers and presumably people will want to still come here and use other things. So we've got that there. Unfortunately, something that I actually find a little bit annoying about pool lot types is that they do require kind of like a bathroom area. And I get why. If you think about going to an actual pool, of course you would want a changing space and toilets and places to use the shower. I totally get that. It's just for building that it always becomes a little bit of a problem, especially for this completely outdoor lot. I don't really love doing this, but I have to have these things and I get why. So I ended up using the new pergola. It's very royal looking. You are going to see that at some future builds for Aladdin when we get into our palace. I definitely utilized it there. It's so beautiful. I'm absolutely in love with it. And I couldn't resist the new pack and the new items. I had to use it here and set it up as kind of like a little outdoor changing bathroom area for the pool, tucked kind of behind the trees and whatnot, so it's not really taking up too much space or like the main focal point of the build, but it is there for playability. Something I also want to let you guys know about, we are not like totally approaching the end of the Aladdin content quite yet. I still have to do the big main household and the big main house, and it's beautiful and already done, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I think you're absolutely gonna love it. Like, it's stunning. I'm really hyping it up because guess what? It's like literally that good. But after Aladdin is done, before we move on to the new movie ready for Oasis Springs, I am thinking that I'm gonna finalize all of my Aladdin builds and characters and get them out to you guys on the gallery. Since this is such a big world, a lot of people have been asking about the builds already, and normally I wait till the world is done, but you would be waiting probably months for the builds if I do that. So I think I am going to take the time to set up all of these builds and characters and have them ready to go and fully launch them on the gallery for download at least, so that you guys can get some of this stuff a little early and we can move on to the next film. And that is going to be the end of today's speed build. If you would like to support the Disney Save on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in my description box down below or the one at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will talk to you all in the next one.